It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. I appreciate you being here. Before we get started, I want to congratulate the three winners that won the trivia contest. And I want to let you know that as soon as I get the t-shirts made, I'll show you what the shirts are before I mail them out to the guys that won. And in case you might decide you'd like to have one, just let me know and I'll see what I can do about it. Might be costly. I don't know yet. I haven't gone down to have them made yet because I don't know all the sizes yet. So anyway, today's video is on the real life tragic story of Don Knotts. Let's take a look. The Andy Griffith Show remains a quintessential piece of Americana. It's a throwback to different times when everyone in town knew everyone else, when neighbors were more than willing to lend a hand, when and where help was needed, and when the police work could be done by a very excited man who could carry a gun, as long as he kept his one bullet safely tucked away in his pocket. Don Knotts, of course, Deputy Sheriff Barney Fife, and it's still the role he's most remembered for. However, he did have a long career that included Three's Company and movies like The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, but it's the Andy Griffith Show that made him a legend. Jesse Donald Knotts was born in Morgantown, West Virginia in 1924. When author Daniel Devise did a deep dive into Knotts' childhood in his book, Andy and Don, The Making of a Friendship and Classic American TV Show, he wrote that his childhood was horrible. Knotts was an accidental child that came along 14 years after his next closest sibling. His two older brothers shared their bedroom with the family's boarder while Knotts slept on a cot in the kitchen. His father, Jesse Sr., was mostly bedridden by the time he was born. Closer Weekly says that Elder Knotts was a schizophrenic alcoholic, while the New York Times adds that he also suffered from hysterical blindness. Abuse was a regular part of his childhood. Around age 30, Knotts' mother, Elsie, asked him if he remembered a horrifying confrontation where his father had threatened him with a knife. In order to get from his kitchen bedroom to literally anywhere else, he needed to walk through the living room and past the sofa where his father spent most of his time. Sometimes young Don could sneak by. Otherwise, it invariably ended with threats. It's no wonder that when he was a boy, Don Knotts was already pale thin and was regularly sick. He later recalled, "I did not come into the world with a great deal of promise." Daniel Devise, author of Andy and Don, The Making of a Friendship and Classic American TV Show, has a personal connection to Don Knotts. They were brother-in-laws. He wrote that Knotts' relationship with his brothers were complicated, and they were hardly distinguishable from vagabonds who paraded in and out of University Avenue home. His older brothers were William Earl, who was so thin that everyone called him Shadow, and Sid. They were funny, says the New York Times. A difficult thing to be when there's so little to laugh about. But there was more to it. Knotts' daughter Karen would later tell Closer Weekly that her father was mistreated by his brothers, too. They were often drunk and they often fought, until Shadow tragically died after suffering an asthma attack. Knotts was only a teenager at the time. It's difficult to imagine growing up in that kind of environment with that kind of fear, and Don Knotts had a deep desire for happiness. He later revealed some of the coping mechanisms he used, saying that he managed to find some comfort by filling my space with imaginary characters with whom I would act out some happy drama. Such a sad early life. But he did overcome it with the help of psychiatric help. Him and Andy both actually had psychiatric help. And there is not a thing wrong with that. It's actually good if you need it. So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm saying anything bad about it. I'm not, because if it's needed, it's a great thing. It's just so good to know that he came out of that okay. And he had a good life after the fact. Anyway, Again, I want to congratulate you guys. Excuse me. That won the contest. Make sure to email me that I can get your shirt sizes and your addresses and such. And I want to let you know that in January, I'll be leaving for the Philippines for 2 months. So, for a couple months, instead of getting the old green screen backdrop here, you're going to get the Philippine backdrop. I'm going to try to get different find different places to do the opening monologue and the ending, so that you all can get a taste of the Philippines while I'm over there. I will probably miss a couple videos, as it will take about 24 hours in flights to get there, and then of course coming back. And jet lag is killer. And soon it gets harder and harder on me as I get older, but I love it over there. I want to live there. I love it there. So this is all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this. Kind of as sad as it was, but keep a reminder, he came out of it and was much happier and had a good life. Have a great day. God bless, and I'll be praying for you.